everybody, it's meteorologist Rick Kirby here. We've got some new development we've been watching in the tropics for you. Of course, we're still recovering from Hurricane Irma, so we're very concerned about anything going on. We have Jose. You've heard about Jose. It was the one that was right behind Irma as expected. That storm moved into the Atlantic. It did get downgraded to a tropical storm. Last night it became a hurricane again, so right now it's a Category 1 hurricane. Jose potentially could threaten the northeastern United States. More likely it stays out to sea, but we'll show you the track on that in just a moment. What we're really watching are two more storms. One was Tropical Depression 14. Maybe you heard us talking about that the last couple of days. It did become a tropical storm today, and it is named Lee. So Tropical Storm Lee is the new tropical storm there. But out ahead of that was Invest 96L. Now that became a tropical storm today as well, and that is Tropical Storm Maria. And that's probably the one you'll hear us talk about the most, that we're most concerned about. And the reason is because that is expected by most of the models to become a major hurricane. Now probably will not affect us here in Florida. That's the good news. We're going to have to watch it though, and we're going to be tracking that very closely. But it is likely to affect those Leeward Islands, the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico. Those are in the path by most of the models, and probably as a Category 3 hurricane, winds well over 100 miles per hour, probably 120 or higher in places. So that is a major concern there for that part of the Caribbean. So we'll show you the track that we expect on that, and I'll also show you how most of the models curve that into the Atlantic at some point, and probably away from Florida, and some of the models take it out into the Atlantic and doesn't even bring it into any U.S. coastline. So that's the hope. None of us want to deal with any kind of tropical system at this point for a long, long time. We still have people without power, people still getting cable and internet back. It's been a long road for us, and of course we barely escaped. I mean, we got off very easily with Irma. Much of Florida had it much worse, the Keys, and of course down by Marco Island, Naples, and that area. So we're certainly thankful we did better than we could have done there. But so let's take a look at what's going on. You see the three systems right there. You see Jose, that's the system again moving to the north in the Atlantic. They're watching it in New York, into the Boston area perhaps. If it were to come on shore, it'd be a Category 1 hurricane. Nobody wants to deal with that, but it wouldn't be a major hurricane. And then you see Maria and Lee. We think Lee's going to curve away from the Caribbean islands as well, so that's good news. So really we're going to focus on Maria, and let's go there first for you right here. So we'll show you what some of the models are showing here. Here's Maria. So right now winds are at 50 miles per hour. So that makes it a tropical storm. It's moving to the west at 19 miles per hour. So as we go through time here, you see this starting to hit those Leeward Islands as we head into to early this week. Initially there, as a Category 1 hurricane, winds at around 90 miles per hour. Now we'll advance this a little bit, and you see it hit Puerto Rico here. Perhaps as a Category 3 hurricane with winds of 120 miles per hour. That would be late Wednesday. And then it could brush the Dominican Republic. We're going to watch it in that area as well. Possibly weakening a little bit as we head into late Thursday. And now we all watch it as it starts to get a little closer to Cuba, the Bahamas, and of course Florida. You see it in that general area. But look how the models really start to take this kind of in this direction. So if we look at some of the longer range models, and it's still early to put a lot of faith in any kind of anything beyond 5 days, but some of the longer range models do kind of curve it out something like that. So that's the hope, but I think we all want to watch, Maria, and watch it very closely. But it's really not good news for those in those Leeward Islands, the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, everybody down there. A lot of those islands just devastated from Irma, and so the last thing you want to see there is a major hurricane. And again, this could be a Cat 3 hurricane with devastating winds of 120 miles per hour. So that's the latest on Maria, a brand new named storm today. Now here's Lee. So this was Tropical Depression 14. Good news here is Lee, while it moves west, northwest, notice by Tuesday and Wednesday, it does weaken here to a tropical depression. You see the winds really starting to drop down to 35, 30 miles per hour, and then it kind of curves out to the north into the Atlantic, where hopefully it just dies. Okay, so we're not overly concerned about Lee. And now we'll show you Jose. So there's Jose, Cat 1 hurricane. Became a hurricane again last night. Remember, it was at one time a Cat 5 hurricane behind Irma. And it kind of went as predicted, kind of spun around in the Atlantic, and then it weakened. Weakened all the way down to a tropical storm, but now it is a hurricane, a Cat 1 hurricane here once again. And here's what the models say Jose will do. So you see Jose moving to the north, and then start to make that northeast turn. But notice that cone, you know, right here, and as we know, that eye wall can occur anywhere in that cone. I mean, the cone can even move, but so you can see why they will be watching that there in New York and in Boston. So you know, Jose is not super scary at this point. If it does come on shore, it will cause some damage. It'll be a Cat 1 hurricane, or could weaken. As you see, it looks like it may weaken there as it gets in that cooler water to just a tropical storm. So it's not a major concern, but they'll be watching that in New York and in Boston. So we go back once again, we'll just show you the setup here. You see Jose, you see Maria, and you see Lee. And Maria is going to be the one that we watch the closest here. Let's see, a couple of questions you guys have. Don't want any more, says Cassie. I don't blame you. Watching from Corpus Christi, Texas. Of course, Texas wants nothing to do with any tropical systems either. None of us do, believe me. Let's see, Bonnie, I guess we still have no power, I guess she's saying. I feel for you. I feel for anybody without power. At my place, we were without power for about 2 days and then got it back. So we feel very fortunate. And it's hard to feel good about your current situation when so many people are still dealing with power losses, cable and internet losses as well. And I know all of this, it just makes it hard to get back to normal. I know we all are thankful, you know, there weren't more injuries, deaths, damage could have been way worse. So I know we feel fortunate, but it's still a long road to get back to normal. Let's see, any other comments? Well, I think the reason I wanted to cover this on Facebook Live for you, and we'll talk about it in the newscast coming up here at 11 as well, but I know there's going to start being reports about the new tropical systems, since they just got named today, Maria and Lee, and I just don't want anybody to overly worry about this in Florida. I really, I don't think Maria is going to be an issue for us, but I do think it's going to be an issue for those islands, the Leeward Islands, the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and then we'll have to watch it after that. But I really think it will curve away from Florida, but there's no guarantee in that either. So let's be aware of it. This is not like Irma as far as looking like it had a high chance of coming to Florida. Maria does not look like it has a high chance of coming to Florida. So it doesn't look like Irma, but we definitely should watch it and keep in mind and keep everybody in those islands, those Caribbean islands, keep those people in your thoughts and prayers, because this is going to be a little bit of a scary time for a lot of these people. Again, they're really suffering down there. So you know, we're going to watch that very closely. And then Lee, again, if you missed this, Tropical Storm Lee behind it now is not really a concern, we don't think, for anybody. I think that's going to curve into the Atlantic and just become a tropical depression, just some organized area of showers and thunderstorms with a little bit of wind, so nothing overly concerning there. So that's the latest, guys, on that. You know, if you want to pass this information along to your friends, I think that would be good, so they can see this and realize that the threat to Florida is extremely low at this point. But I know people are going to be talking about it, and I know we're super sensitive to this right now, and I definitely can appreciate that. And we just want to, you know, give you the information, track this every day, watch these islands very closely, of course, and continue to hopefully let you know that this is not going to be a big threat for us. But that's the latest, guys. Jose, northeastern United States. Maria, got to watch those islands. That's probably going to hit those leeward Virgin Islands. Into Puerto Rico, probably is a very strong, if not a major Cat 3 hurricane. And then Lee behind it, not a big concern. All right, I'll see you at 11 o'clock tonight with the news. We'll have your entire forecast, including a look at the rest of your weekend. You know, we look like we're going to have a lot of dry weather here over the next 5 to 7 days. And as we recover from Hurricane Irma, I think that's great news as well. So have a great night. I'll see you soon.